Hi everyone, I'm excited to welcome our guest Sairam Veeraswamy for our ongoing series on reimagining disruption and its impact on business and culture during uncertain times. Sai has been an active participant in the Unfold research conducted last year on emerging entrepreneurial practices and is a part of the industry leadership advisory team for our digital conclave. Sairam has 3 decades of industry experience across many technology domains. He has held various leadership positions at Veritas, Semantics, EMC, and now he's heading the innovation program at VMWare India. In his current role, he value manages the innovation theaters, drives research translation projects, and manages academic research collaboration with universities in India. He has over 37 patents and 10 more pending with USPTO at 6 publications. A very, very warm welcome to you, Sai, for being a very consistent participant of our journey, and look forward to you to be part of our dialogue today.
Thank you, Puja. Indeed, an honor to be here and a privilege to be associated with Unfold, and really intrigued by what Unfold is trying to do and help industry go through the paradigm shift and catalyze the culture of entrepreneurship. This is fabulous. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much, Sai. So the first question to you, we are working in very distributed times, and brainstorming and product development has become difficult. So how are product companies like yours thinking differently?
Interesting question. I mean, very timely. A distributed workforce is nothing new for multinational subsidiaries in India. I mean, most of us really pioneered that particular art. And in particular, VMware India has already created a very strong foundation for a world-class value generation platform in India. And innovation and entrepreneurship is at our core of DNA. And we generate over 150 to 170 patents every year. And we do have a very comprehensive open innovation platform covering many facets, including innovation, multiple versions of innovation theaters. Having said that, in this troubled time, we have to stretch the envelope of the value generation innovation platform beyond what we have imagined in the past. In fact, we are innovative and creative about how we approach this. And I really bundle them in 4 E's. Empathy. We have to make sure that our employees are safe and healthy. And there are obviously different set of challenges, when you work from home. So we need to make sure that we are empathetic about it so that we give them a comfortable environment to operate with. That's foundational. Then enablement. We have got to make sure that we give them all the tools and the support needed to really, be more effective in what they are doing. And also above and beyond the day job. That's where they thrive, innovating. And third thing is engagement. Frequent touch points and communication is super important in the troubled times so that they feel connected and they feel part of the larger group. I mean, that's cohesive feeling is very, very important to succeed in this stable time with innovation. Third, the last one is eclectic. I think this crisis presents whole new way of looking at the entire problems and challenges and opportunities in front of us. So we need to give them an opportunity to really drive innovation across broad spectrum of portfolio, than looking at what we have been doing till date the way we have been doing. I mean, and the 4 E's are really critical and core to the way we are driving this transformation and the process of adapting to this crisis.
Very interesting. You've defined culture in a certain way. So empathetic, enablement, engagement, and eclectic. And it's great to look at that. With a distributed workforce, you've sort of you're trying to build this institutionalized way of looking at culture, and that's really my next question, that how can companies foster this culture of innovation, especially with remote working today, and how do you get people to be part of a collective vision and goals when they are working remote, try new things, get the support they want from the management to develop new ideas, because again, with the pandemic and the challenge it's sort of come with, how are organizations like yours trying to really build this as a collective force?
Well, in troubled times like this, driving culture is very hard. And the notion of culture itself is so nebulous. I mean, even during normal time, inculcating the new dimension is it's challenging, and enterprises have to go above and beyond to really drive that. because India is so unique with so many people coming from different parts of the country with a different kind of culture. I mean, enabling them to converge onto a single point has been a challenge, and this is going to add another few more dimensions to the challenge. But where we believe that in a conventional wisdom may not work well in the setup. So some of the things that we are trying to do is really inculcate the culture of innovation more aggressively than ever. It's like communicate. I mean, over communication is really critical. And we don't want to communicate for sake of communicating. We want to make sure that it's effective communication with the intent, purpose, and action to follow through, so that they can feel part of the system. And the communication happens across all directions, and we have tools that enable them to do. I mean, top down, right from CEO to the engineer on the floor, also director to engineer on the floor, and upwards as well. So we have both the direction we have communication happening effectively, and we really go aggressive about it. And adapt different style of communication. That's also equally important. Many times, conventional communication may not yield the thing that we want, because with the distraction that our engineers have, in a typical home setup, we drawing that attention to what we intend to say is a challenge. So we have to have a different style of communication. So and fourth point is that we have to be proactive with the transparency. Because many times we take transparency for granted in a closed setup where we are physically co-located. But when you work remotely, feeling part of a larger team and organization is critical, and transparency would catalyze that more aggressively. So we are trying to be more transparent with our employees. We don't wait for them to ask a question or a clarification. So we give them the context when we communicate. Then frequent engagement. I mean, for innovation is all about collaboration, connecting the dots. So employee engagement is super important. This is both at personal level as well as professional level. At a personal level, we have a lot of engagement to really make sure that he's sort of we have a stress buster platform for him to really buster. I mean, really the stress off is a busy schedule. On the innovation front, we really we used to have theaters that run once in 4 months or once in 5 months. Now we have changed it, and we started having once in a month. We call that 31st. The last day of every month, we have an open stage for people to really walk up and talk about their idea. And we have a bunch of guys, and also we have a social judges who would basically judge the idea, and then based on the feedback, we really help the innovator take the idea to the next level. Likewise, we have a frequent engagement. 31st is an example. And more agility by eliminating the ecosystem overhead. There's many times, in a large enterprise, overheads really could kill innovation. And there are antibodies that could really also could play a big role in killing the innovation, as you all know. But we are sort of evolving in an agile model where we want to be really, really fast in the way of helping him catalyze the innovation so that he can take it to the intended destination before time. And leverage collaboration tools more effectively. I mean, Slack, Team, and Miro, and whatever collaboration tool that you find today, leverage as much of that to really catalyze the culture of innovation and collaboration. And what I mentioned is just a few, and there are plenty of options with which you can really catalyze the accelerate the catalyzation.
So what I'm hearing you say, Sai, is that you'll have upped the pace of engagement, communication. And it's very interesting to know about your 31st fest. So instead of once in 4 months, you're making it once a month, so that people are on their toes, and they're constantly keeping that ideation cap. So that's really wonderful to hear that despite physical proximity not there, not being there. I think psychological proximity has been focused on, and it's a momentum has been kept for people to constantly be motivated and connected to the fabric of the organization. So that sort of takes me, to my question around, with the COVID-19 crisis and having really changed the way businesses work, world may not really be the same again. I think we are also at the cusp of a significant change, because this is not something which is short-lived. So what is the role of innovation and digital transformation going to be, not just helping businesses stay afloat, but in becoming sustainable? So what are your views and comments on that?
That's a great question. In fact, entire industry is looking for an answer for that. Here is my viewpoint. Digital transformation is at the core of any modern business, whether it's retail giant or kirana shop. DT is at their core. In fact, knowingly or unknowingly, we are living in a digital transformation world, or digitally transformed world. Look at the way railway reservation has sort of transformed itself. I wouldn't have imagined that I would be able to get a wake-up call from IRTC when my station or destination is sort of close to, where it gives me a notification when I would get on. And DT is indeed the core of driving innovation in post-corona age. In fact, during this now, I think DT is core. And as you know, DT has evolving. DT 1.0 is all about infrastructure. DT 2.0 is all about business modernizing themselves, and DT 3.0 is all about people transforming themselves to become more and more digital savvy. And that's how it has been envisaged. But but actually, like pre-corona, we were sort of in the beginning of DT 2.0. Now I'm seeing that the entire digital transformation process is super accelerating. Now I see that we have gone past DT 2.0 in some areas, and we are entering into DT 2.0, where we expect to be a lot more digitally savvy. And I think life evolve around the digital tools and technologies and gadgets, going forward, and that's inevitable. Doesn't matter whether it's a farmer down south or a tourist operator up north. I think DT is an integral part of whatever they do, whether it's a personal life or professional life. So I think we also witnessing or leveraging and capitalizing on this digital transformation 3.0 process. And for example, we run a virtual design thinking session during Corona times. Right, we have teams spread across all over the globe, and they all drive design thinking as part of user experience design, and they run now virtual workshops. Involving 30, 40, 70 people. Right, that's a fabulous experience. And recently we ran a global conference with 6,000 people joining remotely from all parts of the globe. We have a big setup in the US, India, China, and Bulgaria, and 6,000 people joined. And this is a peer-reviewed IEEE ACM conference, and we didn't miss out any part of it. We the primary motivation for this platform, conference platform, is to connect and create mind share for the forward-looking ideas. And the conference was so nicely structured that that we could really get to everything that we wanted to be, like short paper, long paper, breakouts, and bursts of further, whatever one could imagine during a regular conference that's all personally attended. We could really get everything here without losing much of its core intent. However, this the paradigm shift is not easy. It requires people to be digitally savvy and more vocal, and use internal social media setup to really make their presence felt by the community, and connect with the working group more frequently than before. And if you are an introvert, this is a time for you to reflect on and see if you can really leverage the social media setup more effectively to really connect with people far more better than before. Attend more meetups and virtual conferences. And more importantly, I would leverage this opportunity for the corporates to really invest in people. People apart from the day job, they also need to feel more secure than before, for obvious reasons. So I think enabling them to really learn new technology and keep pace with the technology, so that they become digitally savvy and they really adapt this new culture, is super important for our success, because people is the core of our business, the backbone of our business. So investing in people should be core of enterprise's strategy to really to ride this tide.
Wonderful. And I think, as technology adoption is accelerating, what I hear you saying is that our empathy needs to be accelerated as well. Because a culture of empathy as well as a culture of innovation really go hand in hand. And in these times, I think that's a huge lesson the world has gone through. So while we do continue to get all technology connected, I think being human is also going to be a very core, because that's the inspiration which will keep people feeling motivated, more creative, inspired to give ideas. And so what I hear you say really is, how do we look at people, processes, platforms, and redefine them to shape the culture for tomorrow? Thank you so much, Sai.
That's
A
right.
huge pleasure as always to have you as part of this short interview, and we look forward to staying connected in this journey that you're also helping us architect. Thank you so much.
Looking
Thank you.
forward. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.